Hello and welcome back to the What We Said podcast, everybody. It's Friday and we're ready to have a grand old time. We're just going to catch up today because it's been a minute since on Tuesday, my birth story episode, I talked the entire time and we have so much to talk about besides obviously the birth, but
we have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. If my face is very puffy and red, it is because I've been crying for the past hour, okay?
Mind your business.
Mind your business. We got a lot going on, and maybe we'll get a little bit into that, but
yeah,
I'm trying to switch the energy and have good vibes.
Yeah.
So
we're here to distract from the stress.
Well, I'm excited to podcast. I really am.
It's always, I have so many thoughts that I want to, especially in the weeks, 5 weeks or something that we weren't podcasting. I would have so many thoughts, just not even about what I was doing, just random thoughts. And I was really feeling like the world needed to know them. And even when I was listening to the episodes, I'm like, can these people let me talk? Like, I have something to say.
The episodes that we were doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, now I know how listeners feel. Like, you guys would be talking about something. I'm like, I have something to say.
I have something to interject.
Yeah. And now I know how listeners feel. Just
that
like wanting
to
be part of the conversation.
Feeling. Especially when you feel like you do know us,
yeah.
but especially when you're like friends with them or you feel like you're friends. I will have the urge sometimes, like if I know someone that has a podcast and I'm listening, I'm like, I have to voice memo them after to like include my thoughts in the conversation
100%.
Because I felt left out.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. I have a bunch of random updates written down.
I need to hear yours first. I gave my big one. And I have little ones, but mine are all just like check marks. They're not like good stories,
Okay, well, let me go to my notes that I've been keeping for the past few weeks. I guess we can kind of start with Miami because I went to Miami for Delaney's bachelorette party weekend, and it was so fun. It was kind of my last hurrah as far as like a vacation goes or anything like that. I feel like literally the moment I got home from that trip, I was like, okay, wow, yeah.
I'm done.
Like, that was so fun, but Mom was tired. Mama's got to put her feet up. That flight, I will say, it's pretty long. It's like it's over 5 hours.
Is Miami at the tip of the peninsula in Florida?
But I'm not getting
into geography. If it's down there in Florida, that's far.
It's far.
Complete opposite side of the country.
It's far, and going back, I think it's even a little longer, the flight. You know how that works. And so, yeah, I will say, like, on the flight, I was kind of like, oh, wow, okay. This is not like the first time I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I'm, like, noticing how uncomfortable I am because when you normally, I'm a window seat girly, and I like to put my knees up and, like, kind of, like, rest my head like this.
Oh, yeah.
When I travel. Well, even though I just did that and it probably looked like with ease, you can't really do that when you have a big stomach anymore. And I didn't bring a neck pillow, which was a major mistake. I did buy one coming on the way home, which now I have like 5 because I don't bring it. And then I buy one at the airport because I'm desperate. So anyway, I did have to splurge on one on the way back because I was like, I cannot do that again because I was so just, uncomfortable on the way there. But anyway, on the way back, I did not pay for this, but I somehow was sat in like, I don't know what it was, if it was premium economy or something, but it was a massive plane, like with 3, like a huge plane with 3, like rows kind of, do you know what I mean?
Columns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had like a footrest and like a ton of extra space. It felt like I was in business class. I was so confused, but I did not ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm sitting here. I literally did not pay for, I did not pay extra for a seat, but that was the seat I was assigned. I don't know if I got upgraded, but the Lord was looking out for me because it was such an easier flight because I had a little footrest, I had a lot of extra space, and I had the neck pillow.
Oh, that's so nice.
So I did sleep on the flight home. That was great. Anyway, for a little Miami recap, it was so fun. That's really like my only bachelorette trip I've ever been on.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan any of it. Like there were, a few girls that were in charge of planning it more and they did an amazing job. And I just think this wedding bachelorette culture, it's so fun. Like if you can really get into it. And I think at our age now, you know, everyone's like a little more established so
Yeah.
they can like make it happen. And it's just, it was really
Splurge
fun.
a little.
It was like we had themes every night. So if you saw any of my content, it was like electric love night. So we did like all really bright colors, and then like a sparkle night. So everyone was wearing like glittery outfits, and we like went out to dinner, and no one really in that group were like big partiers. So that wasn't really the vibe of the trip. It was more just like fun dinners at like really cute places and like having dinner and desserts. And
That's
then
the best.
yeah, like going home. Like it was perfect, and like doing like little beach clubs during the day, like sitting by the pool, stuff like
That's
that.
so fun.
It was so fun, and it just made me think about how much I love being a girl and how much I love girls trips, and just I was realizing like
Going extra.
Yes, going extra. We love a theme. It's just so fun. We love Way at the What We Said podcast. You guys know this by now. We're going to be talking about a product that Leif has actually been using literally every single day. Sometimes styling hair can be very time consuming, especially if you're concerned about frizz. And if you do have naturally frizzy hair or curly hair or something like that, you know that it takes some extra time and love and care to maybe make your hair look how you want it to look. So Way has their new anti-frizz cream. It's a lightweight cream that provides immediate frizz control that lasts for up to 72 hours. It smells amazing. It has like notes of bergamot, Italian lemon, violet, and more. I've literally never smelled a Way product that didn't just smell incredible. They all are just feel very luxurious in their texture, smell, everything about it. But the anti-frizz cream also prevents heat damage, which is amazing and very important. And it also has a very lightweight feel to it, which is great.
So not only does it provide immediate frizz control that lasts up to 72 hours, plus heat protection up to 450 degrees, it helps reduce and repair split ends while quenching dry hair with intense hydration. They also have so many amazing products, Way. When we went on our trip to St. Bart's with Way, they gave us a full bathroom just filled to the brim with all of their products, and my hair was in absolute heaven. I love their leave-in conditioner. I always put it on my hair after I get out of the shower, and it just makes it so that I have extra soft, glossy looking hair, and also fights frizz for all hair types. They also have their detox shampoo. They have fragrances. I love their hair oil as well. And they have their new hair gloss, which looks beautiful. Frizz-free up your schedule with Way. Go to TheWay, TheOuai.com, and enter the promo code What We Said for 15% off any product. That's TheOuai.com, promo code What We Said. It'll be linked in the show notes for you guys.
And also there's like no one yapping in your ear about how like we don't need to be doing this, or like
we need another picture.
Yeah,
really?
Do we have to get another photo? It's like, no, we're all just like here for the same reasons. And I was thinking about how everyone there was just such girls. Like everyone was just, I would have like little videos, and like in the background you can hear like, oh my gosh, you look so good. Like, let me get this angle. And I'm just like, I love women, and I love this age that we're at where it's just like no drama, no catty energy, just like good vibes and
everyone's
fun
secure in
girls.
themselves so they can appreciate others.
Yes. And I was telling Delaney, I'm like, this is a testament. Like, you have really amazing friends, not to brag.
Really stunning, beautiful.
Literally perfect.
Really rich, cool friends.
But really, it just was such a good, just good energy the whole trip. And I'm like, that is a testament to like who you surround yourself with. And everyone was just so fun. And it was funny because people on that trip were like joking, like, well, now for my bachelorette, like, you're all coming. But like, I didn't even know you before. Like, I didn't even know you that well before or whatever. So anyway, it was so fun. I will say though, the men in Miami are feral.
Really?
They are built different. Never in my life have I experienced so much like catcalling and just things like that than in Miami. Like
maybe they saw you on a bachelorette party too, so they were probably extra.
Probably, because there's like a group of us.
Yeah. Like all these beautiful women, their last night of singleness.
Yeah. Maybe it was that, but I was just like, oh wow, these men like have no chill. They were just, I'm trying to think of specifics, but for example, I'm like taking a photo of Caitlin on the beach, just like in her swimsuit.
Yeah.
and this guy like comes up and literally tries to like almost like put his arm around her. He's like, let me get in one. And he goes, can I get in one? Or I can't remember, but I literally go, no.
Yeah.
And
you're ruining the picture. My camera broke.
Caitlin kind of like was spooked by him because he tried to almost like touch her or get really close to her. And I was like, no. And he walked away. He's like, oh, I was kidding. I'm like, I'm sure you were, sir.
Until you get rejected. Was I supposed to say yes? Then you were going to get in the picture.
Yeah. And there were so many moments like that, like whistling or just being like, can I be in the photo? Like, and
what is up with that line? Can I be in the photo? I always see that. Like even on TikTok, they'll be like, can I get in? Why? The confidence.
I love just like a moment of humbling. I love just being like, no.
Yeah.
And them kind of be a little bit like,
I was just kidding. You're ugly anyways.
Yeah, you're ugly and I hate you. This one guy.
I would never sleep with you, okay?
We did a boat day and he was on a boat, kind of like a double-decker type. I don't know. He's like kind of high up and we were all walking.
Yeah.
And he was like just trying to get our attention. He's like, ladies, like, hey, loves, like, look up here. And not one of us looked.
Yeah.
And like, I was literally like smirking. I'm like, I love a moment of just like, you got not 1 ounce of attention and you were like begging on your knees for it.
Yeah.
And we don't care.
We'll never know what your face looked like.
We don't even know what you look like because we did not even look up to address you.
Yeah.
And that's just something that kind of like fills my soul with a little bit of peace.
I love that.
I also did have one interesting experience. So this group of like women, girls, they're probably like our age, are like walking past us, like 3 girls walking past us. And it was just me and a few girls standing waiting for an Uber. And it was like broad daylight. And one of them goes, oh my gosh, your belly is so cute. I had like a swimsuit on and yeah. Anyway, you could clearly see that I was pregnant. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she's like, can I touch it? I'm like, I was speechless. And I almost was like, sure, because she's like, I'm a woman apologist.
Yeah.
If it was a man, obviously,
you mean no harm,
not.
Sure.
But like, yeah, they were so nice. And she was like, can I touch it? And she like kind of starts walking over. And I was just stunned speechless. Like I was so thrown off.
Yeah.
But also the vibes were a little off where it was like, it wasn't giving complete normal energy. I don't know. So I was like, oh, I'm okay. Like, I'm good. Because I didn't, what am I going to be like? Yeah.
Come touch it.
Like, what? So I was like, oh, I'm good.
What a bizarre thing.
Yeah. She's like, oh, that's okay. Like, I understand. And I'm like,
then why did you ask?
Yeah. I'm like, she's like, I'm weird about that too. Like, I wouldn't want whatever. I'm like, then what are we asking for? So anyway, that was Blake, Blake Healy. Mm-hmm. She was standing with me. She's like, I'm speechless. She's like, I think I answered for you. She's like, I literally was like, no. Like, you cannot come up and just touch my stomach.
Can I touch it?
I've never experienced that. People would say that to me, like, or I've just heard that about pregnancy. Like, oh, people think they can touch your stomach. And I'm like, really? I've never experienced that.
Maybe. No, it's so bizarre.
I mean, at least she asked for consent. Yeah. But I was like, that was
it's almost weirder that she asked for consent because it was like something in her mind. Sometimes it's people touch and they don't. You're like, they're not thinking. There's kind of like a touchy person. Maybe they're just like, oh, so sweet. And you're like, okay, why are you touching me? But when you're like, can I touch it? It's like, you're almost too eager.
Yeah. No, I don't mind because the girls on the trip were kind of talking about that. We would be like going to take photos and one of them would like go to touch my stomach. She's like, wait. She's like, I'm sorry. Am I allowed to touch it? I'm like, yeah. When I know you, I don't. Exactly. I could not care less. A random stranger?
Yeah. No.
I literally know nothing about you. No. You're not going to come and touch my body, especially like my bare stomach
and where my baby is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of crossing the line.
Yeah. And for what?
For what?
That's the thing. Like, for what?
What was the
Are you
purpose?
waiting to feel a kick? Like, what are you touching for? It's just skin.
Yeah. It's not that cool.
Yeah.
Like nothing you're nothing you're gonna feel is gonna like do anything for your day. Yeah. I promise. So anyway, I thought that was kind of bizarre behavior. There were some characters in Miami, but it was really fun. Let me see if I had anything written down.
No, it looked so fun. You looked so beautiful, and your pregnancy glow was glowing.
Oh my gosh,
in the outfits. It's so fun when you are pregnant and you get dressed up because it's either one or the other. You're literally the prettiest, most goddess-like, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, like pregnant people, or you're home in a sweat set, food on your shirt, like hair
Giving
greasy,
whale.
yes, just like puffy. But then when you do get dressed up, you're like, I feel the most beautiful I've ever felt.
It's true.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like
one or
a
the
pendulum.
other.
I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun, and the girls were just like so sweet. I wore heels the first night, and they were totally fine actually. The heels that I wore the second night, like,
Wait, were they little strappy? Oh yeah,
I
that'll do
couldn't
it, yeah.
hang. Like, I'm not kidding. I took like 3 steps, and I'm like, this is not gonna work. Like, I cannot be wearing these all night. So Molly, one of the girls on the trip, she's like, you can wear my flip-flops. I literally wore her flip-flops for the rest of the trip. Like, because I only had brought like big platform flip-flops, and I'm like, I'm stupid. I need to bring like really comfy. I'm not used to this whole pregnancy life.
I know.
So I would like take photos in my heels with them, like in a group shot, and I would literally put them in my purse and then wear flip-flops the whole night. So I'm like,
yeah,
you know, you got to do what you got to do.
for sure. You always think you're going to be stronger than you are too. I do that all the time. Even when I'm not pregnant, I'm like, oh, I can wear this all night.
Yeah.
For sure. Like 10 minutes into the event, get me out of this immediately.
I'm not a heels girl in the first place. Like, I rarely wear heels. I just always like to be comfortable. So it's like it's exponentially more that I want to be comfy now.
Yeah.
But
I get that.
2 things that I did on this trip that were, I guess like recommendations, whatever. You know how you would like put together an outfit and like put it in a Ziploc bag? Mm-hmm. You're telling me like to pack?
Yeah.
Like with all the jewelry and everything that you're wearing. So I did that for this trip. I did not mess around because I was like, we have themes for every night.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget something. I don't want to like not know what jewelry I'm wearing and then get there and be like, oh, I don't even have any jewelry for this or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was very meticulous about packing, and I did that. I tried on every single outfit before with jewelry.
That's
had
the
in
key,
mind
yeah.
with the bra I was gonna wear, because like a lot of them were like strapless,
underwear.
like the underwear, everything. And then I put it into a bag together and I labeled it. And then I used packing cubes in addition. So I had like all my night out ones, and they were whatever. It changed my entire trip.
Really?
Like, when I got there, I was like,
So easy.
I feel so much less stress about, you know, they'd be like, okay, dinner's at 6. And I'm like, I feel so confident knowing I have everything like so laid out. I'm not searching through, oh, where did I put the jewelry for that one? Well, what was I going to wear? Like, I knew exactly what I was wearing. It was all packed. It was labeled. And I was like, this was really, I'm like so glad I took the time to do that.
Yeah.
So that's my little packing tip. If you're going to go on a trip, especially if it's like something like this where it's,
especially when, not to sound surface level or materialistic, but when lots of pictures are involved or specific outfits for specific things, even if you're not taking pictures, but if you're going on a trip with an itinerary where things are getting close, you're not just doing one thing a day. It's like, okay, we know we're going on a boat this day, and then later that night we're going to go to a dinner at the harbor. So it's like very specific things.
Yes.
You don't want to be rummaging and be like, oh, I only brought jeans. It's like, you can't wear jeans to either of those things.
Exactly.
You have to know exactly what you're wearing.
Yep.
And then it just makes it, if you're in a rush, you can even just bring them in the car. You don't need to be trying them on.
Exactly.
It is so nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. I had like my pajamas it just like sets for, like every night.
Yeah.
It just, I was like, thank you, past Jaci, for doing this. Like, when I was in Miami, I'm like, it's just something not to worry about. And it was really, really nice because I feel like I get very scatterbrained. So that was really nice. My other recommendation, I don't know if I've ever shared this app on the podcast, but I just feel like it's a really good app to have if you're going on like a girls trip, or any trip with people, I guess, where like you're all kind of buying different things and like you're trying to keep track of the money.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Splitwise. Just wanted to share because I think it's really nice. It's like basically you just input what you have spent. Like, I booked us an Uber, and it was nice in this case because there were like 8 or 9 of us, and so it was like, okay, I booked this Uber for 4 of us, so these 4 girls owe me money. Not everyone.
Yeah, that is.
You know
nice.
what I mean? And then you can be like,
things
okay,
get messy.
Yeah, I put my card down for dinner for everyone, so split this evenly, whatever. And then at the end of the trip, it was like, it tells you how much money you owe each person. So it's like, Jaci, you owe Caitlin $50. You owe this person $300. You owe this person whatever. Yeah. And then you just like click settle up, and you just like Venmo
That's
them.
so nice.
And I was like, this is a really nice app. So if you're going on any type of trip where you're like,
We could have
trying to
used
split
that
expenses.
in many situations. Many trips.
And we will in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's so much nicer. We have a joke that we will go on a trip together
Yeah.
and like we'll like kind of both pay for stuff, and then we will like in the end kind of like, you know, total everything up. And then at the end of the trip, one of us owes each other like $10.
Yeah.
And we're like, we just spent hours.
The worst one was Paris, like our Europe trip to Paris and Nice, because it was so long. It was like a week long. We did so much. We paid for so much. And honestly, it was shocking that we each, at the end, we spent so much time going through all of our transactions, seeing Beth was helping us. At the end, genuinely, I think I owed you $5.
It was absolutely insane.
Like, that was so stupid.
I owed Blake $4. It was like $4.80, and I was like, okay, let's make it $5.
Yeah.
So I Venmoed her $5. Like in the memo, I was like, I am so embarrassed to be Venmoing you $5.
Yeah, I know.
And anyway, she's like, I'm cackling. Like,
Yeah.
just it was.
I know.
But some of us didn't. I didn't like pay for much on my card, so. Anyway, but it was nice. Mm-hmm. Mostly we tried to keep it where it's like only a few girls are paying on their card, so it's not so chaotic.
Yeah.
But we could use that app when we went on Paris trip, any of our trips.
Yes.
It's a really good one. So
yeah, with multiple girls too. Yeah, because when it's just us two, most of the time it's like every other.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe one of us will spend a little bit more, but we'll be like, okay, you paid for breakfast, I'll pay for lunch, whatever.
Yeah.
But when there's multiple girls, it starts to get messy.
Mm-hmm. And again, we tried to keep it where like two main girls were paying for most stuff, so it didn't get crazy. But then sometimes you're split up, and it's like, well, we have to pay for an Uber, and we're only with these people, whatever. So.
Yeah. And who gets the points on their credit card?
Yeah, it just gets complicated. So anyway, that's my little Miami recap and my travel tips, I guess, that I have.
It looked so fun. Delaney is
perfect.
One of the prettiest people inside and out. She looked so cute. Her outfits were so good. I can't wait to see like her wedding aesthetic, her wedding dress, all of that.
I can't wait. She
I love people's weddings.
Same. One of the bags got lost on the way there, and it was an extra bag that one of the girls had brought of like all of the bachelorette like decorations.
Oh shoot.
And she basically had brought a whole suitcase full of like just like fun, you know, like little things,
signs or stuff
to like put in the hotel room. And it got lost. Long story short, someone in Miami took it by accident and like took it to their hotel.
Oh.
And the hotel that they happened to be staying at was like right next to ours. So we were able to get it. So it wasn't like it was left in LA or something. That's a whole other story. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because Samira is the one whose suitcase it was, and she like opened it up. Or she had two that were like identical big suitcases, and one of them was lost, and one of them had like all her outfits in it, and then the other one had all the decorations. And she was like, well, let's see which one got lost.
Yeah.
And she like opened it up, and she's like, well, it's not my outfits. It's like all the decor and stuff. It's like all the stuff for Delaney.
Yeah.
And Delaney's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Like, she's like, I'm so relieved it's not your outfits. Like, she's like, it's fine. And basically I was just like, you are the nicest.
Yeah.
Like I mean, what is she gonna do? Freak out? But she is the last thing from like a bridezilla. She's just such a girl's girl, like so sweet, and just she's like, oh my gosh, I don't even care. Like, I'm so glad it's not your outfits. Like, at least you have all your stuff, and we can still whatever. And I was just thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, not only are you the prettiest person I've ever seen, you're also the most genuinely nice person ever.
Nice. Yeah.
We are going to take a quick ad break to talk about the Nike Indie Bra and the Universa legging. We are so excited about this sponsorship. We've both been wearing Nike gear since we were teenagers for any sports we were in or physical activities. We always know that we can rely on Nike. So how do you take your breaks? Do you go for a walk or a workout class? Do you like to meal plan, run to the grocery store, maybe grab coffee with a friend? You can do all of that and more in style with the Nike Indie Bra and Universa legging. The Indie Bra now comes in 3 support levels, low, medium, and high. I personally like a high support, secure feeling bra for when I'm running or doing a cycling class, but I don't want to be wearing that all day. I like something lighter with thinner straps and smoother edges for running errands or doing things around the house. And luckily, the Nike Indie Bra has both of those options and a medium option for the in-between. All 3 are so soft and look so flattering on. The Nike Universal leggings are perfect to pair with the Indie bra. They really help smooth and lift, stretching freely with your every move. Wherever your workout takes you, their squat-proof, mid-weight, and finished smooth fabric gives you uncompromising comfort and feels cool and sleek to the touch. Plus, they're durable enough for you to flex, wash, and wear again and again. They're the pair you'll reach for whether you need something for your everyday run, everyday practice, or just every day. Find your feel with Nike bras and leggings that deliver supportive flexibility and comfort for whatever your day brings. Shop now at Nike.com, and that will be linked in the show notes for you guys, as always. Yeah, it was great. It was a great weekend.
I know. Was the weather nice?
Yeah.
Because it looked...
It was like
sunny.
sunny.
You can just like feel a photo. You're just like, it just looks like it feels so good there.
Yeah.
I've been a weather girly lately. I don't know if I'm just getting old or something.
I love to talk about the weather.
I can't shut up about it. Like, that is all I will talk about if I go somewhere new. I'm like, when I went to Arizona this weekend, I could not stop talking about how dry it was. I was like, it's so dry here. My lips, my nose is so dry. My face is peeling. I'm breaking out. 10 minutes later, I'd be like, does anyone else feel like their throat is just so dry from being here? I mean, obviously people who live there get used to it, but us people coming from California where it's so humid.
I know.
It's perfect.
I joke on my vlogs about how like there's always going to be a weather report. Like, and I'm not even, that's just like something that comes up for me like whenever I'm filming, like, well, really gloomy today. Like just talking about it. And I'm like, no one cares.
70 and sunny.
But you have to, you got to set the tone, just give some context.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weather was really nice.
Maybe it's just because the weather affects you the older you get. More and more. When I go out and it's a beautiful day, I appreciate it so much more than I did when I was little. Like when I was little, I'd be like, oh, it's hot, but I would still play outside. I didn't care.
You're less affected by all of that.
But now it's like, okay, what are we doing today? And it's based off of the weather.
Well,
is it cloudy? Is it sunny?
How was Arizona?
It was great. It was, so my little brother got married. I talked about that months ago, how he chose to get married a couple weeks when he knew I'd be postpartum. But, unbeknownst to me, the world does not revolve around me and my timeline. So I was like, okay.
Also confusing to me as well.
Yeah. It's always shocking when something happens and it's like, okay,
you
that
didn't
did
take
not go
my
perfectly.
Schedule into account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like I was really thinking I was going to be really uncomfortable. And I was, to an extent. But I'm a couple weeks postpartum now. And, I'm getting to the point where I can kind of go back to normal activities. But so I'm not like in the trenches physically where I'm like, I can't move. So it was kind of nice. No one had the expectation for me to be doing anything, which was kind of nice because really nice. I obviously have this like tiny baby and I have to be breastfeeding like every 2 hours. So I'm not, going to be the life of the party. And so that was kind of nice to just be able to sit back, relax, and help here and there. But yeah, we had like a dinner for them. It was so sweet. It's so weird to see your little siblings get married.
Can't imagine.
It's unreal that I was their age when I got married because I felt like I was so old. But when it's your little siblings, they feel like they're always going to be 12 years old. And granted, they are very young, but again, I was the same age when I got married. I actually think they might be a little bit older, but
than you were.
Yeah. At least she is, I think, a little bit older than I was. And
it's actually a jump scare because you're like, how?
There's no way.
Was I think
felt so old.
Both of my brothers at this point are older than me when I got married. Yeah. Like if they were to get married right now, I would have been a little bit younger than both of them, I'm pretty sure. About the same as Carter, I guess. He's like about to turn 21, but.
And I think when they're your little siblings, you're just more protective over them. Like if my older siblings had gotten married when they were 21 and I think my brother that just got married, I think he's 23 almost, like next month or something. But if my older siblings would have gotten married when they were 20 or 21, I was basically 21 when I got married, I would not have bat an eye. I'd be like, oh, cool.
You just think of them as so much older.
Yeah. Well, about time I don't got married.
But even like my older cousins or something, it's like I just think of them as like, oh, you're so much older than me.
Yeah. But they're really sweet and very in love. It's so fun to see young love though. It's just so sweet and innocent and just tender. My little brother's so nice. Like I've talked about it before. If you've watched some of my YouTube, like older YouTube videos, he's in some of them. And his nickname is just the golden boy of our family. And so we were making jokes about how just
a sweetie.
Yeah. He's the favorite child. And I think my family is just a little bit shook. Like, oh my gosh, you're grown up now. You're not just our little baby golden boy.
Aww.
But it was fun. And it was nice because I feel like having 2 kids versus 1 has been an easier transition than I thought it was going to be. Again, it's not been that long, so don't hold me to that. But in some ways, and then in other ways, you anticipate. It's like people being like, you're going to be tired when you are postpartum. And you're like, okay, yeah, I know. But then when it's happening, you're like, oh yeah, this is what you just never know until you can't. Mm-hmm. So people are like, you're going to have your hands full. And I'm like, yeah, I know, obviously. Like I'm going to have another kid. But now I'm like, people are like, what did you end up wearing? Because I was complaining about.
Oh yeah, I haven't even seen a photo of it.
I don't have a photo because I genuinely was like so hands-on the whole time. I got photos of like my kids. I got photos of, the day a little bit. But there was no time during when we were there. Again, like at the wedding or the ceremony or the reception where I was like, oh, hey, let's have time to take a little photo shoot. Yeah. Like take a photo of me. So I have some photos that other people took, just whatever. But none where it's like, oh, it's an outfit pic of like my outfit. And that really shook me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like.
selfies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have to really, be mindful of getting pictures of myself, not even for social media, but just in general. Because you know how people always talk about how their moms are never in photos. It's like always of the kids or the kids with the dad. And Nick will take pictures of me, but I'm like, I don't necessarily want to be framing these ones,
100%.
Love him, but the candids aren't, they're not looking like Matilda Jerf. Let me tell you that
something
much.
About him's not hitting right.
Yeah. He's like, look at this sweet photo I took of you napping with Elwood. I'm like, okay, that's sweet. And I'm sure in 10 years I'll look back and think that's sweet, but that's not something I'm posting or like, putting that in a frame in our family room.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was like, oh, okay, I'm seeing how my hands are very full.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like breastfeeding every 2 hours. So I'm also busier.
Yeah. For sure.
But it was fun.
Wow.
It was good. It's done. I did it. I was like, okay, I am literally changing diapers, in diapers, like breastfeeding, milking. Yeah. My mommy milkers were so hard.
Milking.
It's this thing of like, is she trying to show off her boobs or does she just have boobs? And when you're, I think it's like the first 4 to 6 weeks, your milk is not established yet. After your milk establishes like how much you need, your boobs get a little softer and they're not as like
perky
just
and like huge
porno boobs. But during the first couple weeks, the milk just is kind of figuring out. So it's just sending you a bunch of milk. And so I was in the stress and I was like, I'm just going to have to go with this. And I'm just going to have to understand that people need to realize that I have boobs, okay?
We have really got to stop with the like, just like
the boobs of it all.
Sexualization of the boobs of it all.
I know.
Like stop.
Especially when I'm breastfeeding. Not that anyone did, but.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're going to come up and say something to you, but I was seeing that you saw that Natalie and Nick got married.
Yes.
Did you see that she posted about that?
Yeah.
Because she's like breastfeeding right now too. And she was like, at the end of the night, her boobs were like, she was saying were a lot bigger in her dress than they were even at the beginning. And people were just like commenting. They're like, oh my gosh, like your boobs. And it's like, she's like, they're literally full of milk. Like I can't help it.
Stop being weird.
Stop.
Yeah.
And it really is just weird. It's like, I literally can't control this.
No.
And I'm feeding my child and like giving it life. Can I have a break?
Heaven forbid she has one day where she's not, like maybe she wasn't pumping too. So they're like just getting fuller and fuller. It's like, just give her a break. She's trying to enjoy her wedding.
Yeah.
I loved their wedding.
It was stunning.
It was so cute.
It was really, really beautiful.
I loved her dress. How postpartum is she? Like a couple months? Like
I think so.
She deserves a trophy for that. Like planning a wedding, getting everything together, going, just being in the wedding, like being the main event. She's a superwoman for doing that.
It was beautiful. It was like honestly really sweet that they had their daughter there too.
I know. It was so cute how she had her like came out with her to walk down the aisle.
It was really cute. I know. I've
Love
been
to see
eating
it.
up wedding content lately. I'm just like, this is fun. I love seeing bridal stuff. And
I know.
I love seeing a theme and people going all out.
Yeah.
It's just a fun vibe.
I know. It's fun to have, when you go to a wedding, is so fun because you don't have the stress of like having to plan anything. You just get to enjoy what's there, and then you get to go home and not worry about anything.
It really
Don't have
is.
to pay for anything.
I haven't been to a wedding in a long time,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Case absolutely was a party animal. Like we were so shocked. Like he's a funny, crazy kid. Obviously, he's a toddler, but he was we could not get him off the dance floor. Like as soon as music started, they were doing their first dance. Like we could not keep him off long enough. Like we would try and pull him off, but he just wanted to be like close to them, like literally doing whatever, like to whatever music, dancing, shaking his hips, jumping up and down, like moving his arms.
Please.
And he started like holding little kids' hands. Like, so his cousin Rosie is the same age as his, pretty much. Like they're a couple weeks apart. And they would just hold hands the whole time, just be jumping up and down. He started, the bride, so my sister-in-law, my new sister-in-law, her little sister is pretty young and like was so sweet and came up to Case and was like holding his hands.
Aww.
And he was loving it. So then he just thought like, oh, so everyone can hold hands with everyone. So he would just go up to random little kids and like put his hand out. And Abby and I were in tears because there was this one moment where he goes up to this kid who's a little older than him, but he's like obviously very, very shy. And he wasn't dancing or anything. He was just kind of like standing by his siblings. And Case just like goes up by him and sticks his hand out. And Abby and I are watching, and the kid like slowly is just like staring at him like, who are you? But then slowly like grabs his hand. Abby and I were not okay. Like that is the sweetest, most innocent thing. And they start dancing.
No.
And at one point they were doing like a line dance, you know, probably electric slide or whatever it is they do. And I go to grab Case because I'm like, you're going to get trampled because they're moving left and right,
Yeah.
you know, turning around. And he's literally right by the guy who's calling out the dance.
Yeah.
And so I go out, and he's tiny. So I'm like, people aren't looking for you. So I grab his hand to pull him off, and he's like, I want to dance. I want to dance. I'm like,
Stop.
okay. Jeez. He came home.
That's everything.
At the end of the night, when he walked in the door, he had no shirt on. He only had his pants on. He only had one shoe on. No sock on the other shoe.
Just disheveled.
Literally
from a night of partying.
Yeah, a party animal. We were like, he had the best time there. Like he was loving every second of it, just having so much fun.
I love that.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was so cute.
So freaking cute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got, I don't want to say got the commitment over with.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
I did
had
it.
that and you did it. And
Yeah. It was good. Arizona's so freaking hot too.
weather report,
Again,
100 degrees.
100
I don't know
degrees.
how much, how,
I actually
what was the
don't
weather?
know. It was just hot. Where you can't stand outside in the sun. In the shade, it was the weather where you stand in the shade. It
You're fine.
doesn't feel bad, but the sun, goodbye. Like you get sunburn immediately. But yeah, I also had my birthday recently when I was gone. I turned 29, and my anniversary. And it was so soon postpartum, like a week or so after. And I've never cared less about my birthday or like my anniversary even. I think Nick was on just like high alert. Like he was like doing the most for me for both of them. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like we don't have to do that. I was like, we don't need to do that. And he's like,
is she like just testing the waters or is it real?
Yeah, because he knows I've like always been like a birthday person. And I was like, I genuinely am just so grateful and happy and just loving my life right now. I have the best friends. I have the best family. I'm so lucky that like I have this baby. Everything went well. I do not need like everyone to go above and beyond and be like, I need to get you something or like we need to celebrate you, you know. I'm like, I feel so fine right now. You know, this might wear off in a couple months and I might need to be, you know, next birthday.
Yeah, the 30th we're not taking.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an easy one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to Ireland.
100%. Playing traders.
100%.
Yeah, we did a little birthday dinner for you. It was fun.
And that was
chill.
perfect. So fun.
Cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that that's all happened since
know.
then too. I'm like, gosh, what else?
I know. Well, when this is coming out, Nick's birthday is today.
Oh,
when
wow.
you're watching this.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Happy B-Day,
Big
Nick.
3-1.
crazy when they start
I know.
ticking up on the 30s.
I know.
Leif's going to be 32 this year, and I'm like, oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I know.
It's crazy. I'm trying to think of what else I had to update on.
What else has been going on in your life?
Oh, no, I don't want to get into like bad vibes at all right now. The reason I've been, having a little mentee bee, crying a little bit, is just because we are moving so soon. So when you hear this, actually, I think I'll be pretty much like moving at that point. It's just coming up really soon, and Leif kind of like injured his back, and so he has been like a little bit out of commission.
The weather, as you know, is an obsession of ours. And as the weather gets warmer, I want to have smoothies, shakes, something cold for most of my meals. And I've been loving a good protein shake in the morning or even just for like a midday snack. And Clean Simple Eats protein is my go-to. I've been loving their coconut cream. I'll put it with some like tropical fruits, maybe with pineapple, mango, and a little bit of coconut milk or maybe coconut water. And it tastes so good. It's just a tropical treat, perfect for the summer and the spring months. We love Clean Simple Eats because they are just that, clean and simple. Their protein powder is always grass-fed with no seed oils or artificial ingredients, third-party tested, non-GMO, and gluten-free. Whenever I have a different protein shake, like if I go out and I get a protein shake or something with protein powder in it, I'm reminded how just premium Clean Simple Eats is because their protein powder is so creamy and smooth compared to other protein powders that are really gritty or chalky, and I hate that. So that's why we love Clean Simple Eats.
Protein shakes have been an obsession of mine this pregnancy. I have a smoothie like almost every day, and I love adding some extra protein in it. I love the coconut cream too. I'll always have that with like orange juice and some tropical fruits. It's so, so good. I also just love their Simply Vanilla and their chocolate brownie batter, but they have tons of really amazing flavors. They also have like really fun seasonal ones that come out. So you guys should definitely check it out. And each serving has 20 grams of protein, making it the perfect addition to make sure you hit your protein goals. It is truly the most delicious protein I've ever had. We've gotten so many people hooked on it. So luckily we do have a code for you guys. You guys can visit cleansimpleeats.com and use code WhatWeSaid10 at checkout for 10% off your order. That is cleansimpleeats.com, code WhatWeSaid10 for 10% off your order. Check it out. And I'm obviously very pregnant, and we just haven't had like a lot of people in our life. Obviously Chelsey just had a baby, and Leif's brother Keaton is like in Europe, and a lot of people that would normally like probably be helping us are just like very busy, or they're out of town, or they're moving. Like I have two different couple friends who are also in the process of moving, so they're super busy, like in the trenches, or people have weddings, they just had a baby, so it's like we've just been feeling very overwhelmed with like this whole move, and then Leif getting kind of hurt while I'm super pregnant. We're both like not at 100%. And so luckily the reason I was sobbing is because I called my mom. I was like, I just like need help. Like I rarely like call people and I'm just like, I need you to like help me. But Chelsey was like, it's the mom curse. Like right when I got on the phone with my mom, I was like sobbing. I'm like, I just need help. Like I'm so overwhelmed and stuff. And so anyway, my family's going to come help for a few days, which will be awesome. That will be very, very helpful. Also, again, like my brothers have jobs, they have school, my parents have work, like, so I just feel like there's never an ideal time to be like, can you take off 3 days? Help. Like, come help me for days on end. But yeah, so we're just in the process of moving, and if you know the situation, it's just a complicated move. There's like, we're moving into a tiny rental. We're also trying to renovate our house. I'm also giving birth in the next few months. So it's like, there's just so much going on. I think I'm just like overwhelmed, but I also am grateful that everything's going well. Like as far as, I'm healthy.
What's the pregnancy update?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Aside from all of that, I feel decent. Like, I think we had kind of similar pregnancies where like, I remember you saying like your end of your second trimester or your third trimester was like the best you had felt. Yeah. Maybe in that time period, kind of in the time I am now, or like a few weeks ago, maybe. Yeah. And I really have felt like that. Even going to Miami, people were commenting while I was there or messaging me like, oh my gosh, I'm so like, not like surprised you went, but kind of. Yeah. They're like, it's so nice to see you like still having fun and getting dressed
Yeah.
up. And again, that was kind of I think that was like the last of maybe that energy that I had, but to do something like that. But truly, because I had such a hard time getting pregnant and doing IVF, and then had a really hard first trimester and like kind of second too, I'm like, I feel pretty good, all things considered, you know? Like, I'm tired, I'm like a little uncomfortable, but I'm not 24/7 nauseous, so.
Yeah. Anything's better than that.
Yeah, anything. Literally, I'll take anything over that. So, yeah, I've been feeling pretty good. I definitely am like, it's all the things that I've heard. Like, I'm getting up to pee in the night, most of the time, like twice at this point. And I just kind of feel like uncomfortable at night. And like, even right now, I'm like getting sweaty. Like, I don't know, just weird things where I'm like.
Oh, yeah, getting so
weird.
hot all the time.
Like, when I was crying earlier, I'm like, I am so like, I'm literally overheating.
The hormones.
Just everything.
It's like a hot flash.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, truly, I am doing well. I think, yeah, we just have a lot going on. So it's been ups and downs. And I seriously go through just phases with it where I'm like, this is not that big of a deal. Like, I got this. And then literally like the next day I'm like sobbing. I'm just like, I can't believe I have to move. And it's funny because I'm always like, I'm not like sentimental really, like I don't really care. And then last night we were like watching TV, laying on our comfy couch, and where we're moving is like all furnished, and it's like none of my furniture, and it's like a tiny couch, like a little like IKEA. It's not a super comfy like plush couch. And I was
cloud couch.
It's not the cloud couch. And we were laying on our couch watching our show.
Your
at
couch
night.
really is like the most comfy couch.
It really is. And I was just thinking
Not to make it worse.
No, I'm like, thank you for the reminder.
Like, you'll never feel comfort again.
I won't. The most annoying part is that, well, it's not annoying. It's great. It's like, we're going to move into our house pretty soon. It's not even that far away. It's just that this in-between time happens to be when I'm going to give birth. Yeah. And anyway, we were laying on the couch watching TV, and I just was like, oh my gosh, like, we're only going to live here for another week. And like, this is like my safe space. This is my comfy space. This is where I thought I was going to bring my baby home. Like, I thought I was going to be able to be comfy on the couch, like watching my shows when I was like postpartum, and I'm just going to be in this random location in this tiny couch. Like, I was just kind of having another one of those moments, which again, I go through ebbs and flows where I'm like, it's not that deep. And everyone has been telling me like, you don't need much. You don't need much. Like, whenever I say, you have to move into this tiny space, like, you literally need nothing. Like, you just need diapers and like to be with your baby. And I'm like, I know all of that. And I know it'll be a special time, but it's just like, moving is such a pain, honestly. Yeah. So just to be doing all of this and having to put in all this work. And then it's like, once we get to the small rental, I want to be able to like make it feel homey. Yeah. Put a few elements of things in there that like make it feel cozy, but that's also like work. You know what I mean? I'm just like, and I'm tired.
Exactly. And you're not gonna be there for a year. So it's like, what's worth it to bring in here? And
exactly.
Yeah. I feel like it doesn't even matter how big it is. It's just not yours. So it's like, even if it was, I mean, obviously it's always nicer to have like a bigger couch, but it's just not your space. So it's going to feel a little bit. Also, you are pregnant. So like the hormones of it emotionally is, if you weren't pregnant and you had to all do this, it would be stressful regardless. But then you're pregnant on top of it. So your hormones and your emotions are just feeling all the feels of it. Just, I feel like, also just more sentimental. You probably are feeling more sentimental when you get pregnant, I assume. So for most people, at least I do, where it's like, oh, this is where we like went through IVF to get the baby.
You're like very
this is where
aware
like all
of
our
change.
stages. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. It's like, you can't be so attached to obviously like physical things or like places. Yeah. But I definitely do feel like that. It's like, okay, like we went through IVF, we're whatever.
Like, we found out we were pregnant in this bathroom. Yes. Yeah. You just start thinking of all the little things.
And I fully thought that we were going to bring our baby there. So it's like, and if not, I thought we were going to bring her home to our new house that we just poured all this like time and energy into. So just to have to do that. And again, there was no good way for this to happen, because like, we could have moved home to Arizona for a few months, but I've already gone over that. It's like, that's moving states. That's even more complicated.
Oh my gosh, that would be way more stressful.
It would be so much more stressful to move states and then to like move in with my parents for a few months and then not be close to our house where we go over literally every single day. And then podcasting, we'd have to figure out, okay, now how are we doing that remote? And it's like, it adds on so many other stressors that it's just like, this does feel like the best option. So that's why I don't want to complain about it. It just is like, if you want an honest life update.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had to address my puffy eyes. That's the situation.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, it's just a lot. And like I said, I feel like so many of my friends are also in the trenches. Like, I know you're doing well, but you also just had a baby. And it's like, I even feel like, I'm like, I want to be there for you. Like, I want to help you. But I'm like drowning myself. So I just feel.
We get it.
I just feel overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll all work out. It always does.
Yeah. I also feel like with going back to the mom thing, when you have to call your mom for help, especially if you are not someone like you are who like will just like ask for help at any point. I feel like I'm kind of like that too, especially with like my parents or really anyone where it's like, hey, I really need help in a serious way. Like I'll ask for help in like little ways, but in like a serious, like I have to be emotionally vulnerable. It's like when it's like I'm sad when I'm not sad. When I call my mom and it's like for something that I'm really emotionally, shaken up by. First of all, like your mom just gives you like a comfort because she's your mom. Second of all, you're realizing I'm at this point where I have to call my mom and like ask for.
It's humbling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's just so many things that as soon as like I'll be sad or I'll be really like worked up about something and Nick will be like, you should call your mom. Like, I think you need to call your mom. And I'm like, as soon as I call my mom, shit's going down. Like,
floodgates are open.
I will now be not okay. Like, I'm crying now. You think I'm crying now. Just see me when my mom answers the phone. She's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm
sobbing.
Like, Mom, are you busy?
Literally me. I was not expecting to cry today when I'm sobbing at you right now. Oh, guys. I'm blaming it on the hormones.
Let it out. Just let it out.
Blaming it on the hormones.
I will say my last... and you have way more going on than I even did. My last month of pregnancy this time, I was like so emotional too. Like really? I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't stop crying. Like weepy.
Yeah.
Where it was like, obviously I'm emotional, but it was showing where I was just like, I don't know why I'm crying. I mean, you have reasons to cry. I'm just saying like there's just tears.
Yeah.
Constantly like ready to break free.
I think I've said this on one of my vlogs. I also have become like uncontrollably like, I'll even have like a laugh attack. Like Leif and I will be laughing about something and I'm like, I'm not okay with how hard I'm laughing. Like I cannot stop laughing. I'm like crying laughing. And it's the same with when I cry. I'm like sobbing. Like just tears are like pouring out of my eyes. And even when I was on the phone with my mom, I was literally like hyperventilating. I'm like, I promise you I'm okay. I just like, the floodgates have opened and I am like so emotional right now.
Yeah.
So... yeah, anyway, I felt the same way. I actually wasn't expecting to cry. I was just like literally going to chat with her for a second before we did the podcast because I was going to see if they could fly out at any point. And then, I was not well. And you could tell my mom was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, we'll come because she knows that I'm not like this.
Yeah. You're not just asking for the heck of it.
No.
Yeah.
And I really never do like ask for help like from really anyone. So, but I think it's good. Like I was telling you, if like any of my friends were in a situation where they were like feeling very stressed out, I would want to know. Like if they were like, hey, we're so stressed. Like, could you come help us move for like a few hours? I'd be like, duh. So I'm like, I need to just like reach out to the people in my life who I know are like capable of coming over to help.
Yeah.
Because I know they're like more than willing, but yeah. I just know everyone has a lot going on too. Literally a bagel wrapper or something.
There's cream cheese on
literally cream cheese on this. I'm like wiping my tears. Anyway.
Yeah. It does feel good though after you do open up and be vulnerable. Even if you feel embarrassed at first, like afterwards, at least whenever I call my mom and I'm like, when Nick is saying, okay, you should call your mom and talk to her about it or something. I'm like, no. Like, I'm fine. And then I do. And then afterwards, it's like a release. I'm like, okay. Not only do I feel better that I released that, but I also feel like it's manageable now.
For sure. And also,
like I should have done that earlier.
I know. I don't even want to talk about this because then I feel like I'm going to cry more.
Sorry.
No. It's fine. I was just thinking like, I think now that I'm having a daughter, I was thinking like I would want her to call me. Like if she was like so stressed out and like crying, like I would want her to be like, Mom, help me. Like, so I know that my mom probably feels the same way
Yeah.
and is like wants to help.
Yeah.
So I'm giving her the opportunity
Yeah.
to serve me and
Exactly.
come help me pack.
Exactly.
So anyway, it'll all be good. And yeah, I'm just realizing how much crap I have too. Like going through stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I don't know, I think it's a lot of brain power trying to understand what I want to get rid of, what I want to take to this little place, and then what I want to be in storage for like the new house.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And even like pantry stuff, I'm like,
I need groceries.
Yeah, I'm like, I need stuff, but is it even worth it to like bring this half-used like peanut butter? I just dumb little choices that I'm like, oh gosh.
That's genuinely the worst part is the pantry and all of your spices, all of your oils, cooking, baking stuff, like flour. You're like, I don't want to bring this. It feels like trash, but also I don't want to have to buy all new ones.
I know. And they have some stuff at the Airbnb. So they have like a blender and like some things because we went over to go see, but then like I didn't take good enough inventory where it's like, okay, do they have a muffin tin? Like stuff where I'm just like, do I bring this? Do I just leave it? Whatever. These are unimportant details, but I think it's just, lots of little choices and things. And
well, it's very valid to be emotionally overwhelmed. Like moving, if you just alone, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Being pregnant, getting close to like giving birth, overwhelming.
And then Leif being injured as well. I think that was really
injuries.
That's what took it over the top today. Was because he's like just not feeling well and hasn't been for a little bit, and so he feels really bad because he's like knows that I've never needed more help or support.
Yeah.
And he's not at 100% either. So it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Both of us are just Anyway, let me see if I had any other fun updates to tell you about. Caraway. Guys, Mother's Day is coming up. And if you want to give your mom or yourself, maybe you're a mom and you want to give yourself a gift, you guys have got to check out Caraway. Chelsey and I both have the Caraway cookware. They are non-toxic pots and pans. They also have bakeware. So I have like their muffin tin. They're, if you want to make like banana bread, all of those things for baking as well. And it's so nice because it's really just nice to have like a seamless and beautiful set of something and not just have a bunch of random pots and pans. I personally have the cream in both the cookware and the bakeware, and it's so easily also organizable. Like they have little things that just make it super easy to like hang the lids of your pots. Like they have a little hanger so that your lids aren't just like all over in a drawer, super messy. So they make it like very aesthetically beautiful, functional. Everything can be organized and it all just fits into a set perfectly. And it's also non-toxic, which is amazing.
I have their cookware set in like a blue navy color. I love it. I feel like it just adds a little pop of color. But also I have their new stainless steel cookware set. And it is so nice, especially if you're cooking, on a higher temperature a lot. And they're so nice. They're also so beautiful. And they also come with, like Jaci said, like an organization system, and it just fits so seamlessly in your cupboard so that you're not clanking around a million different pans, especially when Case is napping. I notice just how loud everything is in my house. And with the organization system, if I have to cook while he's napping or while he's asleep, it's so nice because I can just pull out my pans without having to pull out a million other ones. It's also just very nice to have the peace of mind to have non-toxic cookware that is also easy to use, beautiful. It's just the whole package. So if you want to check them out, just as a reminder, their internet famous cookware set comes with a saute pan, fry pan, Dutch oven, and saucepan, plus lids for all of them and a canvas lid holder and magnetic pan rack for storage. It's the ultimate kitchen setup and will save you $150 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/whatwesaid10, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/whatwesaid10 or use code whatwesaid10 at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
Oh, I was going to say I have terrible news that Leif went golfing.
Did he like it?
Unfortunately, he kind of had fun, yeah.
Oh, no.
He was like, oh yeah, I could see how, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I was afraid of, that you could see how you could get into it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's gone twice, so they were gonna go on the bachelor trip. He did not grow up golfing. Like,
Yeah. Oh, he's gone twice?
Yeah. So he went before just to like kind of
catch a vibe.
with Clay, because he's like, I've literally never golfed. Like,
Yeah.
I've hit balls like a few times, but like, you know, let me get acquainted.
Yeah.
So with the golf course.
Yeah.
So they went just for fun, like when we were on our bachelorette trip. And he was like, it was so fun. I'm like, oh, great. And then they went again on the for the actual bachelor trip. And yeah, he was just like saying how it was really fun, and he like got some golf clothes, and I was like, oh, great. Luckily his back's injured, so he can't play for a while.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
pretty sure that's what freaking injured his back.
Yeah, I was gonna say golf. I feel like you are turning your back the whole time, like swinging and whatever. But also, unfortunately, golf is the sport you can play until you're genuinely 90 years old.
Yeah.
So if you like golf, like some of the other hobbies that they have, they have to age out of it a little bit. So it's like, oh, eventually you're not going to be, doing this every day.
Yeah.
Golf, you can play forever, which is kind of nice because it keeps you active. You're walking all the time, and yeah, it keeps you active. But unfortunately, you can play till you're grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It never stops.
I hope he didn't catch the bug.
I know. Although I will say, Nick took Case one time. Like, he was like, I'll take Case to go golfing. And I was like, what do you mean? And they just were in the golf cart, and Case loved it. And I was like, okay, this is actually a mom hack.
True.
Said, once they're both old enough, I got 6 hours, no kids, no husband. I just have 6 hours at the house alone.
True.
Nice.
True. The other thing that I had written down is that two things, they're the most random things in the world.
Okay.
Number one is that I'm always right, because did you guys see the Harry Jaci and Riley Arnold? Like, did you see anything about that on TikTok?
I don't know what happened, but I've seen that he did a podcast episode, and then the edit will be like sad of Riley. So I'm assuming he maybe said something like,
so he
broke her heart.
Yeah, like I don't really know obviously I don't know details about the actual happenings of what went on. But if you will recall, while everyone was so like, oh my gosh, they're like, both of them are so cute, like cute together. They're both so hot, like obsessing over them on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I had said, like, in the heat of that, I was like, I agree. Like, they're both so cute and he seems charming and whatever. But did we forget about what his ex-girlfriend told us about how he's so, like, the weirdest behavior, scary and controlling, narcissistic.
Yeah.
Very weird vibes. And she's 18. And I was saying, and she is, like, so cute and so talented. And I fear for what that man, because I could picture.
We've all been 18.
Exactly. And I had said that.
Not all of us. Unless you're 17.
Unless you're younger than 18 while you're watching this. But I had said, I'm like, I do not trust that man. Mm-hmm. Oh, and looky here. So he basically, I don't know what happened. That's why I guess
he admitted something?
I can't say that he really did anything wrong, but it appeared. So he basically started his own podcast, and he was like going to clear up the dating rumors about him and Riley on the podcast. Like on his first episode, he's like, I'm going to answer if we're dating, basically. And then was like, no, like we've never been dating. We've never been in a relationship. Like, I had made it clear to Riley from the beginning, like, I'm not the guy for you. Like, you're 18 and like I have a colorful past, and like I don't want to steal your 20s from you, and I don't want to. And it was just giving very like,
I'm a bad boy.
Yeah, you're making it seem like, oh, she was obsessed with me and I could have, but I don't want to do that to you. Yeah. You're too sweet and pure and blah blah blah. And then basically they both unfollowed each other. But now they're following each other again, apparently. So I don't know if they just had like a little, but he was saying, he's like, we were never dating. I actually had a girlfriend at the time, like a secret girlfriend, and like we didn't lean into anything. And
yes, they did.
Yeah. And then it like I was seeing TikToks where he was like,
he went to Thanksgiving with her, didn't
he like was with her family and stuff. And I saw this TikTok that was flashing. He's like, we didn't lean into it. And then they would like be getting interviewed and he'd be like, yeah, she's pregnant, and like be saying stuff. And I'm like, and that's where you lost me, because now it's so clear. I have no doubts that you have gaslit her.
Yes.
To be like, no, we were never anything. Even though I held your hand in public and we knew it was going to get whatever. And I'm just like, I don't like these vibes.
I was telling everyone how sweet and cute you were and like being affectionate with you. Yeah. But like, we were never a thing.
No.
Idiot.
Yeah. So I'm like.
I hate.
Me too.
It's like we've all been there.
And I hate it because he seems like a nice enough guy and he seems charming, but I don't like these vibes at all. And even just what he was saying on his podcast, I was seeing clips and I'm like, you to me are just a walking red flag. Yeah. Like everything that comes out of your mouth, I'm just like, I believe Georgia, like his ex, with my whole chest. Like
100%.
I'm just like, I know you did that crap. I know you said, FaceTime me and show me every corner of the room. You have guys there. And she's like, what are you talking about? Just weird behavior and whatever. Whether you're nice enough or not, and I don't know what actually happened in the relationship, I'm Team Riley.
Yeah, same.
Always will be. So,
because she didn't do anything wrong.
No, of course not. And the funny thing, the reason I knew there was like had to have been some kind of like shady thing was someone said something.
Did he say if they ever like kissed or anything?
No, he didn't say.
I bet that I can promise you he probably made out with her, like they kissed or something like that.
He was like, it's nothing.
Instantly was like, no, sorry, like we shouldn't have done that, but whatever. I know it like the back of my hand. I feel like guys do that guys like him, I can spot him from a mile away.
Gaslight City.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, anyway. So I would just like to say that
it's on record.
It's on record. And I've been saying this from the beginning.
Yeah.
And we got to believe women out here because it, again, even just stuff he was saying that had nothing to do with Riley, just like about his ex or whatever. I'm just like, you're a literal walking red flag. Like everything you say is just not it for me. Yeah. So
didn't Francesca also like say he was did something? I don't remember what, but I remember it didn't end well.
I think cheated on her and stuff.
Oh, casual.
And I think he cheated on Georgia as well. That's alleged. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he's like cheated on all of them.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he had a secret girlfriend at the time when he did Dancing with the Stars with Riley, and that the secret girlfriend like couldn't take all like the constant like shipping between him and Riley, and so it like affected their relationship. And
I'm sure it was just the shipping.
Yeah, and I'm like, and
it wasn't you saying she's pregnant.
Exactly.
Bye.
So anyway, there's that.
I've never seen a more clout hungry person than him. I can't lie. And
it works.
Yeah, he gets the clout, but you can feel it. He's good at it.
You can feel it in your soul.
And I feel like he admits it, but he's good at it too. Like he's good at getting the clicks, the views.
He's shocking. Like he's not afraid to be shocking. He'll do what it takes. He'll play into things,
whatever people want.
Whatever it is that he knows is going to get views, like he's willing to do it.
100%.
And I mean, I don't know if it's, again, if it was a girl, I'd be like, get your bag.
Riley, if you want to share your truth, we have a third microphone.
Right over here, babe. We're ready for you.
Come sit.
And we're always on your team.
Literally us being predatory. We're like, come on, she's so young. Just tell us. It's a safe space.
Come on, tell all.
The thumbnail. No. Riley tells all.
Seriously, though, I feel like she has a really good head on her shoulders, and she like seems like she's a great family. Yeah. Which is awesome. And so I have faith in her that she maybe sees. Oh, what I was going to say is he had said on his podcast, he's like talking about when he first met Riley. He's like, and then I see this cute little blonde girl like come through the doors with this beautiful smile or whatever. And then I guess Riley just bought a house, and she's like, yeah, I'm just like a cute little blonde girl living in this little house now. So she was kind of,
playing off it,
like shading into it a little bit. Yeah. So that's why I was like, okay, clearly.
Yeah.
There's something that happened there.
It wasn't just like they were both in on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we were both playing into it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Something tells me.
Something went amiss.
Yeah. So. Anyway, don't know what it is. Don't
Yeah.
know if we'll ever find out. None of our business. But I just wanted to go on record again saying that.
Trust you always.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Amen. Well, that was pretty much it. The other thing is the most random thing on the planet.
I'm ready.
If you want to hear it. I was just thinking about last night some interesting lore about me. I think you know this, and maybe we've talked about it on the podcast, but like I was just having a moment thinking about it, and I'm like, wait, this is so weird. You know that like my family friends growing up called me Punky?
Oh, like, wait, I kind of know that. I mean, I do. You just reminded me.
So, Punky Brewster. I actually don't even like
Brewster.
Really. I actually don't
Two-part
know
nickname.
Much about Punky Brewster, but I think she was like a. Let me see this.
Oh, it's somebody's name. Mm-hmm. Oh.
She's like an actress, or it's like a show back in the day. It's from like the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
And
you know how I know that is because I remember you monkeyed a photo of you in high school. Like it was black and white, and you put on this, you know how you would like used to write letters, and like the photo's black and white, but you put in like pink.
100%.
And you had Punky.
This is Punky Brewster. And
Stop.
And they would like some of my family friends like
Punky Brewster feminist? No.
Oh, slay. Awesome. Well, they thought that maybe I actually have never seen like this show. I don't really know much about her, but I think they thought like I looked like her or gave off like some sort of similar energy.
Yeah.
And so they started calling me Punky. And I was just thinking about the fact that like legitimately that was my name to them for like,
Yeah.
And like their son was like my family friend. Like I don't think he actually called me Jaci until I was maybe like 17.
Stop.
I'm not kidding.
Stop.
Like only Punky. Like we went to
That's
homecoming
cute.
together, or we went to like a school dance together. Punky only. Like literally
Really?
my name is Punky to them. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, that is so funny. Like And
Live
now
this double life.
I'm Jaci to them, but it's that I'm older. I guess maybe even still they would sometimes.
Might say something.
Yeah, but I was just like, that's funny because that is literally like that was what I would respond to.
Yeah.
Like
I'm screaming.
Isn't that weird?
That's cute. I like that nickname.
It is cute. I was thinking about it because I was thinking about the whole baby name conversation.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how the name Punky is actually like kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't name my daughter that.
Yeah.
But
It's a cute nickname.
It's like a cute little nickname that I used to go by. And I was thinking about how people just will get random nicknames throughout their life. And it's like literally becomes their
what people know them
what
by.
people know them by. And I was listening to Canceled, and they were talking about, they're like, why are people still hating on Nara Smith for her baby names? Like it's 2024. It just seems like just name them whatever. Like what? And I also saw this other video of someone talking about how like he was like, do you know what a name is? It's a made up like it's a made up word, or like the name Sarah or the name Chelsea, or like even
It's
more
made
common names. It's like ooh, at some point someone made that up. Even if it's a classic timeless name that's like biblical, someone made it up at some point.
They put together letters.
Said, oh, that sounds like something, and made it into something.
Exactly.
So why is it still so shocking to people to like hear a name,
a crazy unique name?
Yeah,
I
it's like okay, you also made up your name, or your parents, whoever. Like even if you got it and it's common, why does that mean it's okay?
Yeah,
but we can't make up other. You know
random
what I mean?
Unique names,
or like use a word. It's like that's all we're doing is stringing together random letters. That's all anyone's doing.
Yeah.
So why does it matter? This show is sponsored by Betterhelp. And after listening to some of today's episode, you'll know that I could use some therapy, you guys, in my life, because we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever is weighing you down. I always talk about how I am very much a verbal processor, which maybe makes sense that we have a podcast and we like to talk about our feelings, but sometimes it's nice to obviously talk to someone who is a licensed professional and can really help you with different coping skills and talk to you about just different ways to really become your best self. You can get things off your chest, talk to someone unbiased who, again, is licensed to help you with these specific things that you need help with.
I've benefited from therapy in so many different times in my life when there were big changes happening that were feeling very overwhelming, or I just didn't necessarily know how to cope or explain and communicate my feelings to maybe the people around me. And therapy was so helpful to get me back on the right track and just learn positive coping skills, how to set boundaries, empowering me to be the best version of myself. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/whatwesaid today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/whatwesaid. Go check it out. People get so worked up about it. I feel like it's just a thing to get worked up about it now.
Yeah.
To like make jokes about people's names.
Yeah.
Crazy names, which.
Well, again, you can your preferences.
Yeah. And there are so many unique names. Now it's almost like there are no more unique names.
No.
It's like if it's a unique, not that a bunch of people have that name, but it's like if you have a unique name, so does everybody else. It's not like you're the only one in your class who has a unique name. You might be the only one with that specific name. But most people I don't know anyone who's naming their baby Sarah, Jennifer, Tiffany.
No.
Like they're all naming them something unique.
Yeah. That's how I feel too.
Pretty much.
So,
I know. It's crazy. It's
just funny.
How do you feel about this? Like if you name your daughter something and would you care if people like say me, Nick, and our whole family just started calling them something that we wanted to call her? Like how would you feel about that?
Like are you talking about what I was just referring to as like people like Punky?
Yeah. Like how would you feel about someone, like you name your daughter Coco.
The conspiracy.
You name your daughter Coco, and then people, like, we start calling her Coconut Head or something.
The Coconut Head might be a bit crazy.
That's where you lost me. Of something that's like a little crazy. Yeah. But I feel like people do that, where they just will call, like, would you care?
I don't think I'd care as long as it wasn't literally derogatory. Coconut Head, you've got me a little confused. But, if you started calling her...
Every nickname I'm coming up with is like, I was gonna say like Cuckoo or something.
Yeah. Even if you started calling her Cuckoo, like I don't think Cuckoo's a little.
I'm like, what if I called her Cuckoo Bananas?
Like Cuckoo is feeling crazy Coconut as well. Yeah, it depends on the nickname, I guess. But I don't think I would care. I think I would think it's just like cute and endearing. But yeah, it would be kind of weird to like spend all this time trying to come up with a name and then like someone else just like is like, oh, now your nickname's this. And you're like, oh, okay. So what was all this work for?
I know. I feel that way too, like half and half. Like I love when people, have cute names that they have for like Case or now Elwood where they come up with it and that's what they want to call them.
Yeah.
And I think it's sweet. But then at the same time,
you're like I named him this.
I did name them something that I wanted them to be called. But
yeah.
I have nicknames for my kids as well. But I feel like I usually just, when you're coming up with baby names, you always think of the nicknames. Like, oh, well, we could call them this or this or this. But I feel like for the most part, you call them their name. At least I do. Like, we're like, oh, Case. We're going to call him Casey a lot. Like, that's just, we'll call him Casey.
Yeah, just like makes sense.
Very rarely call him Casey. Or Elwood. We're like, oh, we'll call him Woods or we'll call him L or we'll call him like whatever. And like other people call him like Woods or L or whatever. But I usually just call him Elwood.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. I mean.
It's like I thought, I put work into this name.
Right.
Spent time thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to establish like middle name. Like I've just been thinking about the whole baby name thing a lot.
Yeah.
But
some people do name their kids something and then literally never call them that and only call them what their nickname is. It's like, oh, I guess that's just your name now.
Yeah, it just kind of like fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
But
or sometimes I'll call people's kids like a nickname that I've heard. And then I'll ask them like, wait, do you want me to be calling them that actually? Because I know you named them something else.
Yeah. I want to respect
do you care
your wishes.
that I call them this nickname all the time? And they usually don't. Or they just say they don't. Because they're not going to be like, no, you need to call them by their name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see how it'll all play out.
Cuckoo Banana Coconut Head is sticking.
That's a vibe. Please. My daughter's nickname to you? That has me screaming. I don't know. I don't know. I was just thinking about that whole conversation because I feel like even just the like, you're naming an adult. I'm like,
they're going to be a kid too.
And
a baby.
I was thinking about like even Zendaya.
Yeah.
That's her real name. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's very unique.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone named Zendaya. Mm-hmm. She's extremely successful
with that name.
So does that mean... And there's tons of people like that. Like even Lucky Blue himself, Nara's husband. It's like his name is Lucky Blue. All of his siblings have unique names. Mm-hmm. They're all very successful. Like that argument is not valid to be like, they're not going to be able to get a job. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They're like, I know so many people who, and you could argue like, well, those people are in entertainment. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter though.
Well, also with unique names, the only problem is the first time somebody hears it. Like if they go to, interview for a job and their name is Cuckoo Banana Coconut Head, and they tell the person that, they're gonna be like, oh wow, that's an interesting name. Not every day are they gonna be like, I'm still thinking about how crazy your name is. It's like, that's just their name, or you can give them a nickname. It's really not it doesn't affect their life as much as you think it is.
It does not. And I was saying on my TikTok the other day, I'm like, unless you name them Poop, I think we're good.
No, exactly.
Like unless you name them actual feces Poop Head, like we're good. They can get a job, I promise.
Exactly. Or in school, like the only thing that's semi-valid to think about is bullying. Like, okay, if they go to school, it's like Poop. It's like, okay, let's not be crazy. If your last name's Dick, like, let's not name them Harry, Like, let's not be crazy. Let's have a little bit of awareness. But
for sure.
That's the only thing to be semi-aware of. And even then, it's like I'm saying, I think we're good. Like today's generations, your kids, they're going to be going to school with Coco. Like they're going to school. I know, I was going to say it. They're going to school with Slim. They're going to school with Rumble. Like they don't care about their name.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And even like on my list that went viral or that people were like, these are crazy, insane names. Like some of them, like Dot, for instance, like was on my list. I was like, oh, Dot is such a cute name. Be like, that is an adult. Like, I'm like, do you know that Dot and like Dorothy, that's like such an old name.
Yeah.
Like, because a ton of people were like, my grandma's name is Dot and I love it.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's going to be an adult one day. I'm like,
and
there are already grandparents with that name. That's literally not even a made up name. Like, I'm so confused by the outrage of it's going to be an adult.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Literally, I can't remember actually one time that I've met somebody in real life and they've told me their name and I've been like shook for days, like how weird and unique their name
like,
is.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Also, one of our friends' name is Rex. Her full name is Rexella. Never in my life have I heard that name.
Yeah.
Such a vibe. Like
so cute.
And she fits the name Rex so well. And if anything, if I ever think about it, I think about how
cute it is.
It's so cute on her and it's like such a vibe.
Yeah. If anything, I add it to my baby name list.
Exactly. It's like if
I
anything,
hear a weird name,
that's cooler to me than someone named than Sarah.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand this. Like we all have to name our kids freaking Jeffrey and.
Well, let's just be honest. Names are so relevant. It really doesn't matter. Like in general, like whatever the name is, it's only a big deal when you name them, and then throughout their life, genuinely, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's like. Nick and I were talking about middle names too. Like both times, like, what's your middle name? I asked Nick, how many times has your middle name been relevant in your life? He's like, literally never.
Yeah.
You never use it. It doesn't matter. It seems like such a big deal, but it's like, just name your kid what you want to name them.
Yeah.
People might talk about it or discuss it when they're first born.
And then it's over.
I promise, never again.
Yeah.
Whether it's the most boring name, whether it's the ugliest name, whether it's the most unique name, it literally doesn't matter.
And it also just like kind of, I can think about people, because again, everyone's going to have a preference. Like I can think of certain people where I'm like, oh, I like, that's kind of a weird, like they name their kid something and I see it and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't love that. Just in my head, I'm not going to freaking comment it.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, oh, okay, that's kind of a weird name. And then within like 2 months, I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like it fits them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not that deep.
No.
It's really not. So.
No. I agree.
Stay tuned for my daughter, Cuckoo Banana and Monkey. I'm gonna just troll everyone when I like.
That's what you announce.
Yeah,
that would be so funny.
Should I? I'm gonna do that.
Just the longest name. Cuckoo banana coconut.
Like, the only reason I wouldn't is because it's like, then I'm literally making a meme out of my child, like within moments of her being born. But like, that's a hilarious. Nara should have done that. She should have been like,
so funny.
Welcome to the world. Like, I don't even know what. But just the longest, most insane
Ziploc bag.
Yeah. Sourdough starter Ziploc bag Smith. Like, oh my gosh, I would eat it up.
That's so funny.
That's so funny. Anyway.
I will say though, that's this is just a random thought off of that. When you get to like the 2 weeks before you give birth and the 2 weeks after, I have to warn everyone around me. I'm like, by the way, I don't think anything's funny for the next four weeks.
Really?
Like, I don't think anyone making a joke about me, doesn't matter what it is.
Oh yeah, definitely
Don't
not.
make a joke about my baby. Like when I'm pregnant, I will, but like when I'm like the day before, like the weeks leading up and then like the weeks after, it's no longer fun. And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, it's funny. Like, don't be like, oh, gonna drop it. Like, that will send me spiraling.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to know, don't tease me. Don't tease anybody around me.
Like, sarcasm is okay until that little
I can think
period.
like TV things are funny. Or, you know, a TikTok's funny. But I'm saying things that I usually like will be, like, if you were to be like, oh, I'm gonna call your kid Cuckoo Bananas Coconut Head. Like, the day before I give birth, I would be like, spiraling about it.
Well, I'm glad we're having this conversation now so that I can still find humor in it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you won't be like that. I just get so sensitive.
Yeah.
I have to warn everyone around me. Like, don't joke about anything. I don't think anything is funny. I take everything very seriously, and I'm very sensitive right now.
That makes sense.
Or like your birth, like, oh, did you just something?
Yeah.
Whereas usually I make a joke about everything.
Yeah, just self-deprecating.
So then it turns into like, don't joke.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep that in mind for you.
Actually, you keep that in mind.
That was the last time. That was the last joke.
That was the last joke we could make.
We won't call her that. Don't comment that. Because, like, if someone were to be like...
No, it's kind of funny.
Like, right after you announce and then they comment something about that, like, I would be like, stop. Wait a couple weeks.
Because it kind of, like, ruins the vibe.
Yeah, you're just like, this is so
so special.
Sensitive. I think you just feel so protective of them. It's not necessarily, like, jokes about me. It's like... Don't joke about my baby.
Yeah, no.
Until he's old enough to
That makes sense. I remember Trisha Paytas saying that even about the Queen Elizabeth thing. Like,
yeah.
It was like
that would send me
she
over
was
the
about
edge.
to give birth, and then everyone was like, she's being reincarnated or whatever. And she was like, I genuinely was like sad because I was like, oh, my baby's being made into a joke, and like I'm about to give birth in like 2 days. Mm-hmm. But now she like finds humor in it. But she was saying, she's like, it actually was like, I was not happy about that.
Exactly.
So it was trending. Like anyway, we got to wrap it up. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to our very chatty Friday episode. We'll be back on Tuesday for more.
More.
And yeah, thanks for all the love on our Coffee Dose Club too.
I know, it's so good.
Meant to bring
we had
it
it before.
Yeah, we got it on our way. But
I chugged mine. Jaci's still sipping.
It's in the corner over there. But yeah, if you're in OC, definitely go to Coffee Dose. We have information on our Instagram too, but we have a little collab with a local coffee shop here, and you can go get the Valley Girl latte, and it's so, so delicious. And thank you guys for tagging us and stuff. We've ran into some people too when we've like gone to pick it up, so it's been really fun to see the Valley Girls in real life. Make sure you're following along on Instagram or anywhere else where you are on social media. On YouTube, you can watch us. It's Just What We Said podcast on everything. We love you guys so, so much. And that's what we said. Bye.
Bye.